Good morning, welcome to this week's video and welcome to 2024. As you can see, the British weather is giving us what we expect. Not been great all over the Christmas period. I've not been out at all. I've been busy with other things, not been out at all. I'm actually back to work tomorrow, so I thought, well, I am getting out whatever the conditions. This isn't actually where I was heading, but as I came over the top of the hill, up into some low cloud, and we've got some nice conditions. Well, I wouldn't say nice conditions because it's throwing it down the rain, but I quite like the fog or the mist. So let's see if we can get some shots and make it worthwhile. Okay, these conditions are actually pretty horrendous. Just took this shot handheld. Let me just turn you around. Okay, so just looking at this shot down through here, using this tree here on the left hand side. A few roots in the bottom, nice mossy roots. Just looking down through with that track. Yeah, not sure on how far this is going to go this morning, because these conditions are actually worsening. The wind is picking up, the rain's getting heavier, and I'm not going to risk my camera gear. So I'm going to walk on a little bit further. Just I've got a brolly, just keep the camera in the dry, and then we'll see how things go in the next 10 minutes or so. Okay, here's this shot. So, the joys of landscape photography. Never let it be said that we're fair weather photographers, because conditions this morning, well, to be honest, I'm getting to the point of I'm not risking camera gear for this. Albeit there is one shot I'm trying to get to a location the other side of a bank here, but there's a fence. Just trying to get to a location there that I can get a shot down through some trees. Not sure if it's going to happen, but because the way it's getting, the weather is getting, the wind is getting up, the rain's getting heavier, and it's pretty horrendous. Right, let's have a quick look, because we might have to abandon. Okay, so in the interest of not getting anything damaged, although the Z7ii is waterproof, the rain was getting pretty intense, the wind, so that was causing issues. Camera steaming up. So that was causing issues with the camera, and also the fact that there was branches falling from the trees, and so for my own personal safety, I've decided to abandon that area. So I've back to the van now. What I'm going to do is just drive back down more to the sheltered side a little bit. I was on a pretty exposed area where I was, so I'm just going to drive down to the sheltered side a little bit more. See how these conditions, it does look like the cloud is sort of blowing through now. So now I've got back to the van, it does seem like it's just clearing a little bit. So conditions are on the change. But anyway, I'm going to drive back the road a little bit and see how things look back there. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I've come to an area. This is a lot more calmer here now. I'm sort of on the sheltered side of the wind, so it's a lot calmer. So I'm just going to go for a walk in amongst these trees and just see. Obviously the cloud is gone now, so there's no mist, so we've lost all that moodiness, but also we've lost the wind and the rain. So the rain seems to be easing up as well, so things are looking a bit more promising. Okay, so just looking at this scene up through this road, and it just sort of reminded me a little bit, any regular landscape photographers probably know of a location in Northern Ireland called the Dark Hedges. Well, this shot through here just sort of reminded me a little bit of that, with these trees all leaning in up through and going up through that road there. So yeah, I've just taken the opportunity to grab a quick handheld shot. Nothing special. But I'll see how it edits out and I'll put it up, let you have a look. Okay, this morning then, because of the low light I've had to shoot and the wind and the conditions, I've shot a lot handheld. Because of I'm shooting handheld, I've had to up the shutter speed to reduce any camera shake. So because I've had to increase the shutter speed, I've had to increase the ISO to compensate for that. I've kept the aperture as best I can, sort of, but aim sort of around 7.1 to give myself a little bit of depth of field. A couple of times I have opened it up a little bit more, but most of the time it's been around about that. But ISO, I just want to explain it a little bit for a lot of the new photographers that have come to the channel. If you're just starting out on your photography journey, ISO can be the confusing factor sometimes. So I'll try and explain it as best I can. ISO is basically the sensitivity of your, in the digital camera sense, your sensor. With films, it was the sensitivity of the light sensitivity of the film, and therefore how much light that film will pick up. So the higher the ISO, the more light it's going to pick up. Therefore, using the exposure triangle of using your shutter speed, aperture and your ISO, by increasing the shutter speed, I'm reducing the amount of light that's getting into the camera. Therefore, I've had to either open the aperture up, which I didn't want to do. So therefore, I've increased the ISO to therefore let the sensitivity, the light sensitivity of the sensor pick up more light. Therefore, I can increase the shutter speeds to keep the exposure triangle in the right place. The downside with the digital cameras are that increasing the ISO can increase the grain in the picture. More so in the cheaper range cameras. Some of the newer cameras and the higher range cameras are very, very good nowadays at reducing grain in ISO, and obviously there are post-processing methods of reducing it as well as. But yeah, so the ISO is just another way of using that exposure triangle to keep your exposure right, because you're reducing light in one area either by closing your aperture down or increasing your shutter speed. Therefore, I'm able to increase the ISO to let the light into the camera. So yeah, hope that makes sense. So right, I'm going to walk down through here now. Conditions have changed, they're not so good now, but we'll just see if we can get a couple of shots, and then we may have to call it a day. Right, hope that makes sense. Let's go. So apologies for the lack of content this morning, lack of images. Conditions went from one extreme to the other. Massive winds, rain, and difficult conditions to sort of, I didn't want to damage the gear. It's not worth risking a camera for the sake of it. And now obviously things are clearing. And lots of conditions down over this side. So I'm just going to drive back up over the top of the hill, because sometimes at the end of the storm, as we know, we can get some nice light. So I'm going to drive up over the top of the hill and just check out the top, just make sure that everything's not opening up and we're not getting some nice light up there. But other than that, I'm going to call it a day. So thanks again for watching. Please check out some of my older videos, and we've got plenty of plans for 2024, so there's a lot better to come, I can promise you that. Okay, so for this first video of 2024, I'm going to call it a day. Thanks again for watching. Please hit that subscription button and the notification bell to keep up with my content. Give the video a thumbs up, because that helps with the channel, and drop me a comment down below. As always, it is great to hear from people that are checking out my videos. So until next time, take it easy.